Karl Franz is a difficult campaign. I managed to finish a no-loss Karl Franz challenge on Legendary Very Hard, and I'm going to teach you how to make this campaign easy. Let's talk about the things that make this campaign difficult, so we can understand it, to then improve and overcome it. The mortars are very, very bad at the moment because the AI is absolutely cracked at avoiding the hits. So what you have to do is wait until the AI goes in combat, and then what you can do is alt-right click to attack exactly where you need them to be. Also, once you take Grunberg, you do not get a quest battle to get a mage, so you're very behind on a DPS perspective. And another one is that Altdorf doesn't have any forms of defensive structure to allow you to build up the garrison. You might laugh at this, but the best tech tree to rush is going to the state troop standards and going into the state issued weapons. So I've just destroyed the rebellion, and what I have done is leveled up Karl Franz in the manner where I max out Emperor's Finest first and foremost, and all I've been doing is recruiting swordsmen, because in a world where we have a ton and ton of minor settlement battles, the swordsman will massively outperform that of the archers, in which you can recruit early on. And you can see they have 39 stats, which is pretty darn solid for swordsmen, and especially when you have to hold the line, you can even you can get them even stronger. And then once you look at the tech tree, you're going to give them more leadership. And once we get the state issued weapons, we're going to have even more melee defense, making these guys extremely durable in combat. And this is what peak Empire performance looks like. And I'm going to be going into Pistol Corps as well, because once I've got the crossbowmen from Altdorf, then I can actually start getting some backline DPS. But early on, you don't need them, or the archers, because it's just a waste of slot. You might as well get swordsmen. They'll outperform by a long way. And one of the best strats you can also do is loot and occupy every single settlement that you take, because it'll spawn a rebellion, which you can then go and attack for a good chunk of experience and money as well. And since we've kind of taken all of this territory, the most important factor is building growth absolutely everywhere you possibly can do, because we want to try and get ourselves to the higher tiers, because you can't unlock a wizard until tier 4, because that's just Altdorf. The tier 3 building for wizards doesn't exist. So you want to get as much growth as you physically can do, because you can make up to, 4,400 or something gold within this province. It's crazy the amount of money you can actually make in Altdorf, Reichland's province. So make sure to build growth, to then build the defensive structure. You have to build the guardhouses and the city watches everywhere you possibly can do. Ubersreich can kind of get away with it because of the fact that you have the unique building of the pub, which will actually give you walls. The Red Moon Inn, which is a Vermintide 2 reference, which is awesome. So yeah, TLDR, build as much growth as you possibly can do, upgrade your settlements as fast as you can to get those defensive structures in there, because fundamentally, once you have the defensive structures, the settlements itself will start printing off money just naturally, and then once you get them up to the tier 3s, that's when you can start putting into the the weaving houses. But if you're confident that the settlements don't currently need any form of garrison because you've already dealt with your threats, just make sure to chuck in the weaving houses to just bolster that economy. One of the best things you can now do once you deal with the rebellion is taking Marienburg, if I'm honest with you. Getting Marienburg and then getting the Elector State Camp Troop. The grenade launcher guys are so unbelievably incredible, and they will carry your early game massively. So this is effectively what an early game Karl Franz would look like. So while you're waiting on Grom to do his business, let's talk on the Fog of War. While we're waiting on Grom to just murder loads of Bretonnians and then get close enough to Helmgart to declare war on us and do his first Warg, we should be dealing with this rebellion first, and then going and taking Marienburg. Just taking Marienburg is fine, and you can probably seek for peace at that stage, because all we care about is getting our butts sitting in this elect count slot, so we can effectively unlock the grenade launchers. As like I said, that'll be a lot of our DPS, and it'll be fantastic. And our army's in a really, really solid position as well, because we have some incredible fighters. Although it's funny, because swordsmen have a terrible unit, they'll actually hold the line. And obviously the bus will also account to that of the greatswords. So we kind of shift our early game prowess from range to melee. And with everything here, you'll have an extremely staunch front line. And you already have enough damage through your handgunners. You've got cavalry, so you can go for those flanks. And we have the mortars as well once we get them in melee. A few things to note: if you're not experienced with the Empire, do not force the rebellion with loot and occupies. And as well, your army composition should look similar to what I'm about to show. You want to get a good chunk of the spearmen with shields, because they'll be an effective front line, because they have the anti-large that you'll need. On top of that, you want a couple crossbowmen because we're going to pistol corps. So your army will be 3/4 melee and 1/4 DPS threats. If you're not comfortable using handgunners, that's fully understandable. They do suck in a lot of siege scenarios because they require line of sight. Just axe them if you have to, maybe keep one of them. Same with cavalry. Cavalry don't really have a lot of value unless you're in a land battle or you're trying to capture things in a minor settlement battle. They're great for flanking in that regard. Marienburg is your go-to for DPS if you can actually have a situation where Marienburg is undefended, and the exact same thing for Null. If Null is undefended, you can get the steam tank from this, which is insanely effective. Grom is one of your main threats in the early stages of the game, so I would highly recommend rushing him as well. Festus will not expand in a rapid manner, so you don't have to go straight for him. You know, one of the main factors that I learned during the No Loss campaign was the Imperial Authority is going to go down to begin with, and there is quite literally nothing you can do to stop that, so there's no point trying. It's a losing fight, so just allow Festus to take out, Hoshland. Fundamentally, he's not going to take out anything else. He can try and take out Toddy, but my boy Toddy will hold the line. And it'll give you, he gives you enough time, effectively, to go there once you've dealt with Grom. And yeah, this is one of my main kind of things that I recommend. Go towards Emperor's Finest. Honestly, use these melee guys, because they will not let you down. And yeah, Steel, Faith, Gunpowder. Thank you very much for watching, folks. Have a wonderful day, and make sure to check out my other content on screen now.